I ended up with my beloved Selena because of a secret that I will take with me to the grave, said Yolanda, for an interview trying to justify her deed in a completely and absurdly shameless way. It was 1 o'clock on that 31st of March of 1995, when Selena Quintanilla-Perez was declared dead in the state of Texas in Corpus Christi. The 23-year-old was at the peak of her career. She was selling millions of copies of her 5 albums and was at the height of her success when her voice was snuffed out. Before I continue, let me tell you that if you like crime, mystery, or curiosity videos, you can scroll down to the red button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because I will also continue to upload other cases of some other artists. But well, let's continue. In the middle of a discussion with Yolanda, the founder of his fan club. On the morning of March 31st, Yolanda fired a .38 caliber revolver, which left Selena fatally wounded. Yolanda stated from the beginning that she did shoot at her daughter, as she called her. But he has since said that it was an accident and that his motivation is a secret that he has already revealed. But we'll save this part of the story for later, as there are some very shocking and important details to clear up. Well, Yolanda, the woman who declared herself a #1 Selena fan, was found guilty of the murder and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 2025, which makes everyone wonder if Yolanda could be out of prison in about 2 weeks more years. Well, here we open a parenthesis to say that officially nothing is known about it yet, but everything seems to indicate that no judge could want to authorize and sign something like this due to all the social pressure. I want to clarify that what I have just said is not official information. It is simply an opinion based on the following fact. For example, in Argentina, we have the case of Robledo Puch, a very famous murderer who took the lives of at least 11 people, and who since then has been in prison for more than 49 years, and for more than 15 years he has been asking for his parole, for exhaustion of his sentence. But no judge in Argentina has been willing to sign his petition, so as not to be the ones to tarnish his reputation by signing it, which despite the fact that legally he could have already served his sentence and opted for conditional release, everything seems to indicate that Robledo Puch will die in prison. Personally, I think that something like this could happen with Yolanda, due to the social pressure of people wanting her to remain in prison, but officially we do not know. Although we do know that if she gets out of prison, the reality is that the punishment and social condemnation could be worse than being in jail, as Selena's father said a few years ago. But what exactly happened that morning in March of 1995? Well, to understand it, let's travel to 1991. In that year, Yolanda was about 31 years old when she approached Selena's father and manager to propose the creation of a fan club of which she declared herself to be Selena's #1 fan. The club was created, and so was her relationship with the Quintanilla family, to the point that she was even given management duties within their boutique. However, by the beginning of 1995, things between Selena and her assistant Yolanda were no longer going so well. In March of that same year, Yolanda was dismissed from the fan club and removed from running the business when they found out that she was stealing money from them. The singer was recording her next album in the city of Corpus Christi, Texas, that March 31. Saldívar had arrived there after a trip to Monterrey and was staying in room 158 of the Dines Inn Hotel. On the night of March 30, Selena and her husband, Chris Perez, went to see Saldívar so that the woman would hand over documents from her business that were still in her possession, according to the investigations. But Selena later realized that Yolanda did not give her everything she had requested, so she called her and they agreed to meet the next morning. And this is where it all goes down. In the dialogue with Selena, Yolanda assured her that she had suffered a sexual assault on her trip to Monterrey, so Selena agreed to take her to a hospital to be treated the next day. On March 31, Yolanda and Selena met around 9 a.m. and went to the hospital in Corpus Christi, where a doctor determined that there were no signs of sexual violence, as Yolanda claimed. Yes, again she had lied to him using something as serious as sexual assault. So the situation obviously angered Selena, who took Yolanda to the Dines Inn hotel to finally turn over all the documents she had in her possession.
According to the accusation presented at the trial in room 158, the two began an argument around 11 in the morning.
Selena demanded the documents. She wanted to leave the place, as she was expected in a recording studio to continue work on her new album. Then,
it was 11:48 when Selena tried to leave the room, but Yolanda took a Taurus 38 revolver and shot the singer.
a shot hit Selena in the right side of her back. The wound caused her to lose a lot of blood from the beginning. Even so, Selena was able to get out to call for help and moved almost 100 meters until she reached the hotel reception, where she finally fell unconscious. As Yolanda ran her red van with gun in hand, Selena lay in the hotel lobby. A paramedic tried to revive her, but it was too late. Selena no longer had a pulse or breathing. She was immediately rushed to Corpus Christi Memorial Hospital, where Dr. Luis Elkins found her in the emergency room at 12:05 noon. An hour later, 23-year-old Selena Quintanilla was pronounced dead.
Supone que es un 14.
Un 14.
14, perdón.
Así se habla. Ese es Tex Mex. Tex Mex 14.
Pero me entiendes, ¿verdad? ¡Órale, órale, órale, primo!
Take you in my arms and never let.
Then the sentence began.
After the shooting, Saldívar ran to his truck where he barricaded himself in for almost 10 hours with the gun in his hand and threatening to take his own life. A team of negotiators tried for that long period to get him to surrender. At 9:30 p.m., she finally surrendered, and a few hours later gave her first formal statement to Detective Rivera. Initially, Yolanda said, "I pulled the trigger and shot him," as she walked. "I pulled the trigger and I shot him," she said. "Pardon me for emphasizing this part, but pay close attention, because this sentence will be key to both the story and the trial." Well, we continue, and here is where one of his first contradictions in the story begins. "I pulled the gun out of my purse and Selena started walking toward the door. I told her to close the door. She ran out and I don't know where she went. I looked for her, but I couldn't find her," he said when correcting his first statement, no longer mentioning whether or not he pulled the gun. The detective testified about the defendant's contradictions and said the following: "I told her she had just said she pulled the trigger and she said, 'That's correct.' And then she signed the statement, agreeing that she had shot her. And as if everything was premeditated, Yolanda bought the gun at a store in San Antonio, Texas.
On March Quince, that's right, coincidentally 2 weeks before seeing Selena.
Yolanda has repeatedly said that she did not kill Selena. But nevertheless, pay attention to this part, because in the trial against her, it was determined the following, and I quote, "The gun with which she shot her requires about 5 kilos of pressure to go off, which can only happen with one finger tightly squeezing the trigger. The charges against her, therefore, were not for negligence or accident, as Yolanda called it, but for first-degree murder." Since then, the woman has offered more versions of what happened. One of the most extensive was the one she told journalist Maria Celeste Araras in the first interview she gave after being imprisoned. In it, she assured that Selena took her bag and emptied it on the bed. After arguing, Yolanda took the gun and put it to her temple as a suicide threat. "I told her, 'I want you to leave my daughter, go away.' And she didn't want to go, she didn't want to go. Then I did the thing backwards, referring to the trigger, and I said, 'I want you to go.' The door was open. I was going to close the door.
I said, 'Don't close the door.' When I said that to him, my shot went out. I stayed on me," he said. "It was an accident. I'm not a cold-blooded killer."
Since then, Saldívar has made several unsuccessful appeals, and has maintained in several interviews that what happened was for keeping a secret from Selena that will someday be known. He told journalist Araras, but now another question arises.
What about that secret that Yolanda and the journalist Maria Araras have talked about so much? After the end of the series, Selena's Secret, the aforementioned and alleged secret was not clarified, as in the book only spoke of an alleged pregnancy of Selena. So they asked Maria Arraras, who wrote the book and inspired the series, what Selena's supposed secret was.
And she said that, according to Yolanda, Selena had an extramarital affair with a doctor and wanted to run away with him the day he killed her.
Sources? None. Only the story of a murderous woman who, for her own benefits, changed for convenience on many occasions. A supposed story that for many is tinged with many lies and deceptions in order to capture public attention in a commercial way by both parties, both Yolanda and the journalist.
Thanks to this supposed secret, it coincidentally increased the sales of her book, and then gave her the incentive to direct a series about it, Selena's Secret. Paradoxically, a secret that she never revealed, neither in the book nor in the series, but well, let's assume that this supposed secret exists and is true.
Did Yolanda really believe that knowing what Selena did or didn't do in her privacy gave her the right to take her life in such a way?
Something completely crazy and out of sense. So one thing that is true, and we are very clear about it, is that when we talk about Yolanda, we have to take into account that we cannot take her stories as coming from a normal and coherent person, but as coming from a lying, vile, and manipulative person. Someone who changed the story on more than one occasion for his own convenience, as we have already seen.
Even with Selena's supposed secret, we could tell her that that was one of the most serious things she has done and said after the murder, because as she was cornered and with her reputation already completely ruined, she wanted to do the same with Selena's reputation, knowing that she can no longer defend herself. It's like he's saying, okay, I'll jump off the deep end, but you're coming with me too. A totally macabre and shameless plan on his part.
But okay, if you got to this part of the video, you may be wondering, but which of all the stories was the truth? Well, I guess we'll never know, but that doesn't matter anyway, because unfortunately the truth was
buried on the morning of April 2, 1995.
I'll be dreaming of you tonight till tomorrow. I'll be holding you tight, and there's nowhere.
Yes, Selena was recognized for all the love she gave, for all the attention and help she gave to the people who needed it most, and all the money she donated to causes in the Latino community. After his death, former U.S. President and then Governor of Texas, George Bush, decreed that the singer's birthday be called Selena Day or Selena Day. NBC journalist Tom Brokaw then called her the Mexican Madonna. And well, the truth is that we will never stop wondering what would have become of Selena in her life if she had never gone to that hotel, if she had never gotten into that van, and if she had left.
Would he have had children? Would he have been more successful in the world of music? Surely, although there are still things we don't know.
But what we do know, and we are completely sure, is that his music will be kept forever, especially in the hearts of all his fans.
Tomorrow, and for all of my life, and there's nowhere.
And well, so much for today's video. If you like videos of crimes, mysteries, or curiosities, I invite you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you'll be the first person to know when I'm uploading a new video.
And well, my name is Gabriel Navarrete. This is Great Mysteries. See you in the next video. Bye bye.